It's time for Two Guys and a Goalie with Dustin Nielsen, Matt Cassian, and the goalie, Joaquin Gage.
Happy Thursday, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Two Guys and a Goalie. Nielsen, Cass, Gager, back with you once again, all brought to you by our wonderful partners over at CoolBet. You can sign up for an account today using the code 2GUYS, the number 2 in the word guys. If you want to bet on the Oilers game tonight, you can do that. So let me give you the numbers right now. Go to coolbet.com. The Oilers are a minus 114 slight home favorite against the Tampa Bay Lightning, who are in the second half of back-to-backs, but will roll out Vasilevsky. The total right now sits at 6.5, minus 118 on the over, plus 100 on the under. And if you like the Oilers, minus 1.5, which would be a lot to ask tonight, even with how well they've been playing, plus 210. Let me give you some regulation numbers as well. Oilers to win in regulation, plus 137. Tampa to win in regulation, plus 150. Boys, this should be a good game tonight. Like this is a big one. Tampa's playing well. Oilers playing well. This should be good to see where they're at right now, right?
Oh yeah, this is great, and they're gonna. Elliott played last night, so chances are we'll see Vasilevsky.
Yeah, Vasilevsky's gonna go,
and Campbell kind of rolling. Nice little, hopefully a good goaltender duel here. Stamkos scoring 500, hot. I'm another good measuring stick to see where the Oilers are at. I think and it's always nice to see the brilliance of Hedman on the back end and watch what a real defenseman looks like.
Well, it's just insane, right, Cass? Like Tampa has it. They got Kucherov, they got Stamkos, plus they got others. But then they got Hedman. Then they got Vasilevsky. Like every time we talk about the Tampa Bay Lightning, you're just like, oh yeah, they're constructed perfectly. Like,
they're
really
still really
nothing to
good.
bitch about.
Yeah, they still have that Norris caliber defenseman. They have a really good Vezina quality goaltender, and they have more than your top two guys and your top two centermen. Like, you're still a really, really good team that still has a chance every single year. Eventually, that's going to start going away, but right now, they still got a chance every single year. They're that good. It's
crazy to think in today's cap world, with how much parity we've seen in the National Hockey League and North American professional sports in general, Gager, it's nuts that Tampa you look at them again and you'd be crazy to not say they're a cup contender yet again.
Well, yeah, and I mean, they have those integral pieces, but I'm thinking like all the talk about the Oilers needing a D-man or who are they going to get? And you see what the Tampa Bay Lightning have been able to do over the past few years and losing big players like Palat's huge contributor to their cups, but they seem to just be able to retool and pick up where they left off. Granted, I don't think they're as strong as they once were, but they're still a very dangerous team. And if they can stay healthy, you can't not say that they might make it to another finals again.
Let's not forget that they have also won by going like 20 million over the cap before too. So let's not forget that, guys, because I think that's still important, is that there was some shenanigans, I think, that went on with Kucherov to make the cap work. And now they're not quite as good as they were because you had to lose players like a Coleman, Palat, because you couldn't fit them in the cap, where you had a little bit of extra leeway because of injuries to do it before.
How about Stamkos? Scores 500 last night. I had 3 last night, actually, but hits a 500 mark. And Stamkos is his first overall pick. Remember when Tampa was going to get him, they had that campaign going on around Tampa, Seen Stamkos. It was a big deal. Like, this was a guy who was supposed to, get the franchise. They won the cup back 6-7 years earlier before they drafted him, got him again. And, there's been Ovechkin and there's been Sidney Crosby, and then McDavid kind of comes along. Meanwhile, here's Stamkos just cruising along, 500 goals in less than 1,000 games, Stanley Cup champion, scored 65 in a season. Cass, to me, it just kind of seems like Stamkos sort of just flown under the radar for a decade, but done everything you could have expected of him and more.
Has he flown under the radar? I mean, I don't think he's flown under the radar.
I mean, we don't talk about him as much as we talk about all these other guys, right? And he still does it.
Yeah. And he's had a lot of really good guys around. There's just, when you're talking about Tampa, there's so many other really good guys to talk about too.
Maybe that's what it is. Yeah.
I don't think he's an afterthought. I mean, just like if you're talking about Tampa and you're like, well, how good is Stamkos? It's like, well, it's not just Stamkos. You're also going to talk about, well, how good is Hedman and how good is Vasilevsky? And how good is Kucherov? So you've had other guys there that have contributed to it. But I mean, he's been and is just such a core part of it. I mean, he is really, really is. I mean, pretty fantastic what he's been able to do and just score goals. And that's with a couple big injuries too. You think about that 500, like
significant.
He's had some significant injuries and he still managed to put that many away.
Well, what's crazy is that you just kind of said it, Cass. Like, Stamkos had 106 points last year, and we still go, oh, Hedman and Vasilevsky, and then these other guys around the league. Like, that was kind of my point, is that he's never the first guy in the conversation, even on his team or around the league or Gager as far as great goal scorers of this generation goes. He'd probably be number 2 or 3 on the list. it's strange to me.
Yeah, and I remember when he came in the league, and I think it was Milbury was the coach of the Tampa at that time, and basically said he can't play in the National Hockey League. And it was this, and then of course Milbury got fired, and Stamkos began his career. But I wish he had the ability to go back and see an uninjured Stamkos, because he had like that McKinnon powerhouse speed before all these injuries kind of hampered his mobility. And he still gets around quite well, but I just remember Stamkos just blowing past people and using that massive shot of his just to blow by goalies. And for him to kind of change his style of play to still be so successful at such a high level, that's an amazing accomplishment for him, where I thought speed was one of his greatest weapons when he first came into the league.
In honor of Stamkos hitting 500, we're going to do a little bit of a 2 guys draft later in the episode. We're going to draft a draft. Each of us are going to draft 6 of the greatest goal scorers of all time in the NHL, and we'll see who ends up with the better roster. So that'll be fun. We'll put it out to a vote on our 2 guys and a goalie Twitter account at 2 guys and a goalie. So obviously some challenges here for the Oilers tonight against Stamkos. Kucherov, the only players in the league that have more points than Kucherov are McDavid and Draisaitl, so he's having another phenomenal season as well. Cass, what do you think of Kane getting back into the lineup, buddy?
It was surprising that he came back that early. I thought he played a decent game. Like, was around the net a lot, which was great. Didn't really seem to show hesitation on the physical side of the game, which I was a little concerned about. Not that you're worried, because you got a cut on your arm about going in to hit somebody, but there still can just be that added mental. You just have to get past it, and he seemed like he was able to do that. And it wasn't like we saw him ripping one tee, so we don't know how it'll perform under that circumstance. But in terms of positioning and him being out there and being involved in the play, I mean, I thought he did a good job for this first game back. So it as we already have seen with the lineup, with your boy being healthy scratched, he just adds.
I want to bring it up. Now you brought it up.
Just adds depth.
Gager, outside of putting a puck in the back of the net, I don't think there was anything else you would have asked for from Evander Kane in his first game back. I mean, even with the injury, just being out for a couple of months, I thought it was good.
It was. I thought he played great, considering what he went through, and his style of play didn't seem to change. You would have thought, I would have assumed that there would have been a kind of an easing in process, but he was right in the thick of it, man. And he was close to potting one. I would definitely bet on him putting one in tonight. I have that feeling.
Just quickly, I just thought about this. Based outside of the game, if you could have only one of Broberg or Bouchard moving forward, who would it be? I think it's an interesting question. Sorry to put you guys on the spot. I should have given you a little bit of a heads up on this one, but I was just kind of browsing around looking at the lineup for tonight. I was like, I wonder, like, Broberg's done some good things lately. I know last year, with the year that Bouchard had, would have never even asked this question, but Cass, you lean one way or the other, or you can just tell me to screw off. What do you think?
No, I definitely lean one way. I'm going to say Bouchard, definitely.
Okay.
Because he's more, and I know he's had pullbacks and he's had significant challenges this year, but he's still more NHL ready. He's still ready to play more minutes than Broberg. We've seen him do it in the playoffs, which we haven't seen with Broberg. And yes, Broberg has improved recently, but he's not there yet. And so if I have to pick between the two of them, I'm keeping Bouchard because my window to win is now, not in 3 years.
Okay, what about long-term career-wise, though? Like, who do you think ends up having the better career in the National Hockey League?
Who are you asking, me or?
Well, I was going to get Cass to follow up on that.
Yeah.
They're going to have different
Broberg.
types of careers. That's for sure.
Different types of careers, different players. If I was going to say long-term career based on what I've seen this year, I probably would say Broberg.
Okay.
Yeah, but
Gager?
that's long-term.
Where do you come out on
Oh
this?
yeah, I keep Broberg over Bouchard, and I do think that Broberg will have the better career. I think he moves better than Bouchard, and it's a small sample size, and I realize that, but I think his awareness on the ice, there's a much bigger upside to Broberg than there is Bouchard. I think he's more aware on the defensive side of the puck, and his ability to defend with his legs, that's something that Bouchard, I don't think, will ever be able to match.
3 years from now, maybe 2 years from now, but I'll say 3 just to be conservative because they're young defensemen. Cass, we lost Cass. Gager, 3 years from now. They both top 4 guys, I would think, by then.
Yeah.
Have to be, right?
Yeah.
So it's Nurse and these 2 guys and somebody else, right? Like, that's what you would think.
This is why, like, you talk about on your show a little bit, Dusty, how the loss of Larson and Clefbaum have hurt the Oilers so bad. And they kind of have not the same, but 2 young guys. And this is why I don't want them to be moved for an asset to maybe make the Oilers better. I think what we've seen over the last 4 games is a small little progression of their play, and they're playing better right now. I just think the upside is far too great to than losing one of these players and having to replace him again in a couple of years because you have someone that, I don't know, maybe they don't work out or you lose them because you can't afford them. I think the Oilers are in a really good position right now with their demon. I know they're young and inexperienced.
Yeah, but Bouchard's not going to cost you much on his deal here at the end of the year, right? So
no, not with the season he had, and it does take a long time for defensemen to gain that experience and that professionalism to play in and out every night. And I think I said it at the beginning. I thought Bouchard would probably suck this year. Second year in the NHL, young defenseman. They usually have with
some issues in his game, right? Like you can see what the issues are, right? So,
but we've seen what's there. That's the thing. Like we saw what he was doing in the playoffs last year. Like he was really, really
good last year in the playoffs.
He was so good. So it's definitely there, Dusty. And we haven't even scratched the surface of what it could be too, I think. So and that's how you build a team from the back end out. You can't just have the superstar forwards and outscore teams. That doesn't work. You need to start on the back end, and I think the Oilers have set themselves up perfectly. And plus, with the Vin man in there too, that's looking quite promising as well. I just think they're not proven, but they're in a good spot.
Before I set Cass back up, he's rejoined us. I'm going to throw him back into the system here. Campbell is going to start tonight. Gager, you're the goalie. You're the expert on this, so I'll just share my opinion. You can take over. I feel like you might be pushing your luck a little bit here with Jack Campbell. I know he's been excellent. His last 5 starts, .922 save percentage, 2.00 goals against average. Tampa rolling into. I guess maybe this is just because of the way he's played all of the year, but if I was Oilers fans, I'd be a little leery tonight. Thought Skinner probably would have got this game. What do you, am I just being a nervous Nelly here, or should I be betting on Tampa tonight? Because I feel like you might be pushing your luck a little bit with Campbell.
Not at all, man.
No, you don't think
so?
No,
like you look at that streak he went on. Like what did he win? Like 14 games as a rookie or whatever. He's done stuff like this before where he's gone on big tears. And from a goalie aspect, you've won your last 4. Things are starting to turn around. The guy that's kind of he has been playing better than you have the entire year. And your coach says, I want you in the net. That even raises your confidence even more. And so now it's like, okay, here we go. I've got confidence in my coach, teammates. I'm starting to feel better. And I'm going up against one of the best teams in the league over the past 5 years. Like this is just a massive confidence booster. If Jack Campbell can come and play a really good game tonight. The Oilers.
You think then you officially got him back, type of thing?
I think this is the game here where everything changes for Jack Campbell. It's all in his hands.
What if he falls apart? What changes?
Well, then you go back to Skinner for the next 5 minutes.
I don't know. It's just a feeling. I'm just like, he's been pretty good lately. I don't know. I don't know. It's just a feeling. I feel like
I like his game. Like, look, if you watch him tonight, here's how you know Jack Campbell is playing well. If he starts reaching for pucks and looks a little bit out of position, it's going to be a rough night.
You think it's coming to him right now? Like it's just letting him? Yeah.
How many pucks hit him in the Oilers logo lately, Dusty? Watch how many pucks hit him square. Like either he's feeling it or he's got the quickest sternum in the league, because a lot of pucks are just hitting right in the crest. It's and that's the sign of a good goalie. You don't. Of course, everyone wants to do the street hockey big windmill glove saves, but when you ask a goalie after the game about that, he goes, well, I kind of made a bad move there, bad read, and I had to do something special. When you get a couple passes across, one-timer, and it hits you right in the sternum, you're like, man, I'm reading the play. That was a great save because he had nothing to shoot at. Easy, no rebound. It's the way you feel when you stop pucks like that.
I got a little bit of a rebuttal. Yeah, okay. A little bit of a rebuttal, but also some agreements. So I think starting him is the right move. Okay. Because I think you're still in that confidence building stage where you do want him. But I think the risk you are also taking is, and Gager, maybe a lot hit him in the chest. One hit him straight in the glove, and that still went in. And then he had to go switch the glove. So I'm still like, it was the glove.
Oh, you goalies and your equipment issues.
There's still some mental stuff there. And I think, if he comes out and he has a really strong game tonight, that could be, he's over the hump mentally, confidence-wise, he's over the hump. If he comes out and he stinks out the joint tonight, I think you're right back to where you were with him. But I think it's the right move to put him in. I think you want to get him over that hump. And I think you're giving him the opportunity and showing the confidence in him is going to continue to boost that. So I think it's a good play. Some of it still makes me a little nervous in this moment.
Okay, so you're you're in the middle. You're in the middle. I'm kind of like I feel like I might be pushing it too much. Gager says no way, and Cash, you kind of come out in the middle. Gager, your rebuttal.
Let's talk about that save. All right. So Dusty, you're the CFL expert. You know when a wide receiver he essentially catches the ball or starts running with the ball before he catches it. That's what I equate that save to. He was so far ahead of getting that puck down and playing it that he messed up.
Sorry, I knocked my headphones out. It was probably a fire right back there.
Sorry.
Well, it looked like, so that's why it looked like it sort of pushed that part of the glove back, right? He was just moving it down too soon already. Is that what that was?
Oh,
because you're supposed to take that in there, right? Like as opposed to because it just seemed like the glove looked weak.
Yeah, no, he took his eye off the puck there.
Okay.
For a split second.
Did you ever change your glove in a game, Gager?
Yeah, but that's when the coach pulled me and I took it off completely and sat on the bench and just opened.
It just seems crazy to switch gear midway through a game.
Yeah.
You know what? You're looking for anything. It's just like switching a stick. If you make a couple bad passes, it's the exact same stick, but you're just doing something to be like, nope, it was the stick's fault. It wasn't my fault. I'm still good. Like from a confidence
aspect. That happens quite often with players, doesn't it? Like I don't remember a goalie being like, give me the other glove.
No, it doesn't happen that often. But it's the same concept, like where it's just like you blame the equipment, right? Yeah. You're just blaming it, and that mentally, whatever you have to do to keep your confidence up in that instance, totally fine with it. So, but it was a little weird.
It's weird that how many of those has he let in this year? Like 4? Where it's hit the
it might be bent, 4? Yeah.
And it's bent I've had that happen, of course, but
Gager, is that because it's like an older glove or how's that not firm enough? I don't get that.
Yeah, it's really weird that it bent. Like you watch one of the ones that and even remember the save he made that was still a goal. Like, and I mean, that was a hard shot, but that really blew the glove part way back in the net. Yeah. Right. Like usually either guys are shooting the puck harder now or I don't know. It's just it's a weird thing that the webbing part has collapsed as he's
So flimsy.
catching the puck, but that tells me that he's taking his eye off it and not watching it directly into his glove.
Well, we'll see. Get another opportunity here tonight, it looks like, against the Tampa Bay Lightning. Okay. Look, actually, let's get to this one because these two teams. Let me hop over back to Coolbet here, and we'll get some odds. I know I was talking with Huss, and people are pretty fired up about the Jets and the Maple Leafs tonight. The number over right now at coolbet.com. Winnipeg Jets plus 138. Toronto Maple Leafs minus 163. Does tonight's game determine who's the best hockey team in Canada, boys? Is that what it comes down to here between the Leafs and Jets tonight? Because I know people in Winnipeg are pretty excited to put their Jets on display here in the center of the universe against the Leafs.
Well, they are the two best teams in Canada. So, yeah, right now, I mean, so how can you not say whoever wins is the best right now? I hope it's Winnipeg. That would be great.
I like the Jets. I think they've had their struggles. I don't know. I find myself cheering for the Jets in a weird fashion. But yeah, I'd like to see them win. I'd like to see a really good hockey game first of all.
I think we'll get that.
And see like the talent that's on the ice. Like that's a lot of high potent offense on both teams going at it here. So I'm curious to see what the Leafs how their defensemen could match up against the Jets. And yeah, it's an interesting goaltending battle too. So that'll be a fun one.
All right, boys, let's get into this. We talked about it, texted you earlier this morning after Stamkos hit 500. I'm not even sure Stamkos makes it into this draft. We're going to draft the top 18 goal scorers, at least in our opinion, of all time. We've done a few two-guys drafts in the past. I didn't put any names in a hat, so I figured we go rock, paper, scissors. Or should we no, let's do shoot, 1, 2, and then shoot it. And whoever's the odd man will pick first, and then we'll do it again for second and third. Does that sound good? So on 3. 1, 2, 3. Okay, you can't do 5. You got to do 1 or 2.
Oh, well.
Let's do it one more time. 1 or 2. 1, 2, 3. All right, Gager, you got first pick. Cass, you and me, rock, paper, scissors for second and third. Here we go. 1, 2, 3. We both went paper? 1, 2, 3. Scissors. All right, Cass, paper. Cass, you're picking third. Gager, you're picking first. And I am picking second. Hate that spot, but that's okay. All right, Gager, greatest goal scorers of all time. We're looking for the best 6 that we can possibly get. Do you have the first pick, buddy? Is it Wayne or is it Ovi? What are you doing?
It's the current leader. It has to be Wayne Gretzky.
All right, I will take the true greatest goal scorer of all time, Alexander Ovechkin. And it comes to you for a couple here, Cass. What are you going to do, bud?
Yep, I'm going to take Mike Bossy.
Okay.
And then, because we're talking pure goal scorers here, correct?
Yeah, we're just looking for the best goal scorers of all time.
Best pure goal scorers. I mean, I'm going to make my argument here. I'm going to say because it's modern game, and I think he's the current. I mean, Ovi's the best all time. He's current. If we look at goals per game in the modern era, he's crushing it right now. So I got to say Austin Matthews with the 4th.
Holy shit.
Oh.
You just took Austin Matthews ahead of Mario Lemieux in an all-time goal scorer draft.
Goal scoring. Mario Lemieux.
I think he's only behind Bossy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I should have probably taken Lemieux.
God, I love you, Cass. All right, so I will take Mario Lemieux. Gager, to you for 2.
Okay, I'm going to take one of the other all-time greats is Gordie Howe.
Gordie Howe.
And to just like Cass said, one of the purest. I gotta go.
Don't take my guy here.
I gotta go finish Flash with Timo Solani.
Okay. Oh, there are guys with more goals than this guy, but he's one of my favorite players ever. And if he would have stayed healthy, he would have been up here with these guys. I got to
gonna
take
take my
Pavel
pick?
Bure. I got to take Pavel Bure, man.
I wanted him.
Yeah, I have to take Pavel Bure for sure. If Mario wasn't there with that last pick I had, I would have gone Pavel Bure there. So I'm happy. But all right, Cass, you're up for 2, buddy.
I'm gonna go father-son duo. I'm gonna take both the Hulls.
You're gonna take the Hulls.
Ooh,
You're gonna take the
Both
Hulls.
Hulls off the board. All right.
this makes it interesting.
Let's see here. This is me now. Well, almost by default. Well, not by default. I'm going to take the guy that the trophy's named after, Rocket Richard. I'm going to take the Rocket. And you for 2, Gager.
Oh gosh. Well, let's go. I mean, I'm gonna go with Mike Gardner.
Mike Gardner. Okay, and one more.
This one's tough now. I gotta, this guy could score too. I'm gonna go with Alexander Mogilny.
Mogilny. Okay. Oh man, where do we go next here? Let me dive into a little bit of research here, boys. Huh. Hey, so side note, partway through this draft, there are 5 active players in the top 25 in goals per game in NHL history. They are Matthews, Ovechkin, Stamkos, McDavid. Who's the other one, do you think?
Leon.
Pasternak.
Yes, Pasternak. David Pasternak is top 25 all time in goals per game, which totally blew my mind when I was looking at that a little bit earlier on today. All right, let's go with This is a tough call. I'm going to try to I'll try to get that Oilers vote. I'll take Yari Curry over 600 goals in his career.
Oh man, this is tough.
All right, Cass, you for your final 2 here, buddy.
Yeah, this is rubber hits the road here, fellas. I'm just doing my homework.
I like the
on a
respect
couple
of the McGillney pick. McGillney was ridiculous.
He was, yeah. He had 74 one year, didn't he? Something like that.
He had 73 the same year as Solani. Weren't they both at 73 or 76?
Yeah.
It was 76. That was a 76 whole year, both of them, which was just nuts.
Crazy.
So here, how about this?
mean-
You mentioned Draisaitl earlier, right? Just on the active guys. Draisaitl's at .47 goals per game in his career. Sidney Crosby's at .47 goals per game in his career. There's one other active player who's at .47 goals per game in his career. Who do you think that is? Playing tonight in a game we talked about.
Is it
Oh, Connor?
Kyle Connor, Gager.
Yeah.
Kyle Connor, .47 goals per game in his career, which is pretty nuts. And he's still available in the draft if you want him, Cass.
Yeah, I mean, first one, I'm getting too many old guys. Esposito.
That's good.
That's
That takes a decision away from me with my next pick. Okay, last pick for you.
This is a tough one. Best goal scorers of all time. I get the list in my other list because we're through my guys that I wanted.
got through your list.
I was banking on a potentially late McGillney, and Gartner. I didn't think Gartner was going to go, Gager. So those are kind of.
Because didn't Ovi just pass his road record goals, or someone just passed his Garner's record?
Yeah, and Gardner also had like 30, like 18 times or something.
Well, that's what it was.
That might
That's
be
what it was.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, I'm going to take him because I think one of you guys are going to take him. I'm going to take Yarmer.
Nah.
I got to take him. Yeah.
Okay, I will go with There's a guy left who's got 731 career goals. He's 6th all time. He's the only one left in the top
Played
8,
a lot of
I
games,
think.
though. That's the thing.
Did play a lot of games. We're thinking Marcel Dion here, obviously. Yeah.
Yeah.
But still, I don't know if there's a lot of guys that jump off the page better. Let me see goals per game. Where was Dion goals per game? Because I feel like he was pretty high up too.
You could take Norm Ullman.
And Marcel Dion 16th all time in goals per game too. Shit. Sorry, boys. I'm torn on this one. You know what? I'm just going to go with a guy. I mean, it doesn't matter if you want to lose. This guy was a ridiculous goal scorer. Career cut short due to injury as well. Always hated his team, but I'm going to take Cam Neely. I'm going to go with Cam Neely.
Jesus!
Did I just snipe you on Cam Neely with your last pick?
Yes. I just erased him. Crap.
Yeah, I hated the Bruins with a passion. But Cam Neely was just a beast of a power forward, man. I love that guy.
He was a beast of a power forward. What, almost 400 all time? You know what? Screw it. Then me, I'm gonna go with one of the best goal scorers of the modern game right now, and that's Leon Draisaitl.
Oh, going for the hometown.
You greasy bastard. Wayne
greasy.
Gretzky and Leon Draisaitl. We're going to get roasted for probably not taking Marcel Dion. The older crowd will be like, oh, he's top 10 all-time in goals. But Cass is right. He played almost 1,400 games. And here's a fun little question for you guys. I was thinking about this myself. So you took Draisaitl, Gager. McDavid's got more goals this year. They're like 3 goals apart in their career right now. Who gets to 500 goals first? The newly anointed Connor McDavid can score goals whenever he wants, or his regular trigger man and Leon Draisaitl? Who do you think gets to 500 goals first?
I'm going to say Draisaitl because
I just took him in the draft. Yeah, that's why.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I would have taken
He's
Connor.
on my team. But I just think that he's had a really good year, but I think there's another level he can get to with scoring goals. Everyone's been talking about how he might be a little bit banged up still. And I looked to that goal he scored against, I believe it was Nashville, when he just came down the wing and looked just like Cam Neely and let her buck and blew it past goalies. And we see what Connor's doing that way, but I think Leon can do the same thing. He's going to hit 500.
All right, that's a fun draft. Let me recap this here. Gager had the first pick. He ended up with Wayne Gretzky, Gordie Howe, Solani, Gardner, Mogilny, and Draisaitl. I had the second pick. I went with Ovechkin, Mario Lemieux, Pavel Bure, Rocket Richard, Jari Kurri, and Cam Neely. Cass had the second pick, took Bossy, then passed on Mario Lemieux for Austin Matthews. Oh, yeah, third pick. Sorry, Cass. Got the Hull family connection, plus Esposito and Yager. So that's a good list. 3 pretty good lists. We'll throw a poll up on Twitter here and let people vote.
I think Dusty wins
it. Getting an Ovechkin, Mario Lemieux stack is pretty ridiculous. So, plus, you're not going to get any votes because you have Austin Matthews so high on your list. Just the wrong market to take Matthews second, buddy.
You know what it is? It is. But I legitimately, I also went with my heart on some of them, and he's at a higher goals per game right now than Ovi. Now, with that being said, Ovi's been doing it for 18 freaking years, which is insane to keep that up, right? So, but I do think Matthews is truly one of the best, and I think he will be one of the best all time. Yeah.
If Cam Neely didn't get injured, I was just looking at his stats, and you can see he got injured, and then he actually came back and scored 50 in 49 games. That's amazing. But I wonder if he didn't get injured, he probably would have finished with closer to 600-700, I bet.
Oh, yeah, I think he would have been closer to 600, 700 for sure. I mean, he only played in the last, 5 seasons of his career. He never played more than 50 games. So that was, that would have been a bunch of 50 goals. I think the one year, what'd you say, Gidry, had 50 and 49 there, but I think one year he scored like 50 and 44, but it wasn't his team's first 44 games or something. So it didn't count on the official list. But yeah, he's a phenomenal goal scorer. There's no doubt about that, and a hell of an actor. All right, that is going to do it for another episode of Two Guys and Goalie, brought to you by our wonderful partners over at CoolBet. Watch for the poll on this draft. We'll put it out, and you guys can vote. We'll crown a champion in Monday's episode. Guys, enjoy the game tonight. Enjoy that game. Oilers Canucks on the weekend as well, and we'll talk to you guys on Monday.
See you, boys.